There's some Ozzy Osbourne that we were playing on the radio. Anyway, the subject in this video is going over to Upper Peninsula. There's the city limit sign of Mackinac City. Mackinac City is basically the last town before you go over the Mackinac Bridge and go over to the Upper Peninsula. Which in this video, we are going to be shooting trains in the Upper Peninsula. Now, we are going to be shooting some CN locals in the LS&I, the iron ore walk locals, that they do one from Eagle Mill to Tilden, and then they sometimes run all the way to Marquette. But when they do go to Marquette, that is on a separate crew. So, we would not be following them all the way to Marquette this trip, but that will be in a separate trip. On this trip, we wanted to do some other things non-train related. And I forgot the other railroad that we will see at the Upper Peninsula, that will be Grand Elk. As we are going over the river now, this will be the final time that we would be in the Lower Peninsula till we would come back south on September 6th. Now, it's September 1st, which is Labor Day, so there was at least 30,000 people walking the Mackinac Bridge. That is why we are crossing the bridge on a very late afternoon, because there was at least 30,000 people walking the bridge, and by the time it was done, that was around 2 p.m. and traffic was really bad. So we wanted to wait for at least an hour or two just so we can go over the bridge and not have to worry on traffic. Well, we did have to worry about traffic. Not as much as I thought we did, but still, there was still a lot. We would get to our camp base in Hog Island around between 5 and 6 p.m. That is a lot. After making it to the campsite, after being there for 30 minutes, I did end up hearing the horn from the north. And that's what I thought it was coming from, the CN Manistique Subdivision. It's the next day, we decided to do some chasing on the CN Manistique Subdivision. We would get a westbound train coming from the east. This westbound was a A450. A450 comes from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario to head west on the Manistique for Green Bay, Wisconsin. It would have a duo of E&D locomotives on it. The leader was an M-2 and the trailing unit was an SD-60. The train that we were hoping to intercept before making our way to Marquette this day, as we were hoping to, was a A451. We did end up making it for A450 within 2 minutes to spare in Gulliver, Michigan. Well, that's heading to Gladstone. Let's go chase that. After making it to Manistique, we end up having to wait for a train within 15 minutes before the westbound train, which was A450, shows up in Manistique. The chase is actually pretty easy to chase. We made it to the first spot, Gulliver, Michigan. We end up catching the whole train there, catching the whole train at Manistique, and now we're about to catch the train at Crux. After being here within 10 minutes, the train rounds the corner, and within the next 2 minutes, the gates started to activate, and the train rolls through. No idea what that person was doing, honking the horn while I was videotaping, but anyway, who cares? After making it to Crux, we decided to make our way westbound to another spot that would be miles away ahead of us. We end up making it to another spot called Isabella, Michigan. Isabella is going to be a next control point with a sighting that a CN eastbound would meet the A450 heading westbound. The eastbound that they are meeting is a A451, comes from Green Bay, Wisconsin to Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. After A450 cleared, it will be another 20 minutes before that eastbound train would start making its way to Sault Ste. Marie. The leader on it today is a ST60 leading away. I thought we would see another eastbound train between Gladstone and Isabella. But with my luck, A450 and A451 was going to be the only trains that we would see on the CN Manistique. A450 is our train with the SC60. We are at Gladstone now. Just got back from the store and we thought we missed it, but there it is. So let's get ready and set up. We thought we missed the westbound, but we did not. After getting them in Isabella, we came over here to Gladstone to go to a grocery store. And well, we thought we did miss the train while we were in a grocery store. We were in there for 30 minutes. After getting here within 2 minutes, I walk up to the tracks and I saw the headlight creeping on top of the hill. There's a bunch of hills in the Upper Peninsula. Anyway, we made it to Gladstone, Michigan, and now we're about to catch the train for the final time, just east of Gladstone, Michigan. After chasing A450 to Gladstone, Michigan. We went back to camp around Hog Island State Park. We get there within 4:30, getting ready to cook us some dinner. And then around 5 o'clock hit, we were sitting outdoors and we heard a train. Garnet, Michigan is the nearest spot on the CM Manistique. They can basically take around 3 to 4 hours from Isabella to Garnet, because some of the line on the Manistique is jointed well, and the train that we were chasing were most likely straight track. But the Manistique sub around Garnet was jointed well, so that's the reason why they take so long from Isabella to Garnet. We didn't really see anything besides seeing Grand Elk sitting in Manistique. Now it's day 4, and we're about to catch the LS&I Railroad. As you can tell, we are on the LS&I, catching one of their trains. It's still going to be a little bit, because I know it goes through here 2:40-ish. I know they get to Eagle Mill at 3. I know we haven't missed them for sure, because Eagle Mills is maybe 3 miles that way. So I know we haven't missed them. And the sky's covered, which is really what I want. So for right now, the shot is looking promising for me. Eagle Mill crew went on duty at 3 p.m. They went through Tilden Junction at 4:03 in the afternoon to head towards Tilden's iron ore factory to switch around there to pick up some empties for Eagle Mills. After they were doing some switching, they went through Tilden Junction 45 minutes after they went southeast. Here they are now, heading back for Eagle Mills. the LS&I train for Needle Mills, we went back to Marquette to get some lunch and dinner at Culver's in Marquette, Michigan. We went northwest of Marquette to a beach to find some glowing rocks. But, however, the waves were kind of powerful, but not as bad as the last beach that we went to. The second beach that we went to, the waves were powerful, and it was getting really dark. So, what that means is the water were getting cold. So that's why we went back to camp and basically call it a night. Before we would get up the last day, we went to Newberry to do some grocery shopping and we heard a train. This is Grand Elk heading to an industry before heading to Munsing. We went to another crossing, southeast of town, to catch the train for the last time before the train would go into an industry before going to Munsing, staying a while in town, or going to Trout Lake to interchange with Canadian National. After catching the train in Newberry, we decided to go back to Camp Base and eat some lunch. That lunch was good, and then after we ate some lunch, I took my dad's truck to the Manistique sub to the nearest spot. And well, after arriving to the spot, I ended up hearing a horn after getting out of a truck. So this train here was A451, heading to Sioux State Marine with the same SD60 that we saw on the second day that was on A451. After catching the train here going very, very slow on Jointed Well, we decided going to another crossing east of Garnet. At this time, they were picking up some speed because this portion of the line east of Garnet was not jointed well. So, this would be the final time that we would see some trains in the Upper Peninsula on this trip. Yeah, the weather was better than it was the previous days. I had very fun time in the Upper Peninsula. Now it's time to head back home and also go back to work. In the meanwhile, we were making our way south and we saw a tractor parade on the northbound 75 and Mackinac Bridge. So I decided to record all of us going through the bridge and record the tractor parade. In the meanwhile, I will be up here within the next maybe couple years to come back up to shoot some more trains in the Upper Peninsula. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time in the Mitten State or the Buckeye State Wales.